With that, I forever rise, bound down my crown to the Almighty, the Eternal, the Incomprehensible, the causeless cause, the rootless root, from which all things grow. Allah be His sweet and holy name, for all praises forever due. And I step down, remain on high, giving high honors to His illustrious prophet, noble then, noble now, noble and divine, noble all the time. Our holy prophet, who came in the science of love made flesh, that only the pure in heart can recognize the King. Our prophet, noble Drew Ali, who was sent to a nation that was completely lost of nationality and birthright. And I give honors to his forerunner, Brother Marcus Garvey, who came with one God, one aim, one destiny. Baptized the nation and race prophet. We give honors to our harbinger, Brother Marcus Garvey. I give honors to the Moorish flag, the oldest flag in the world. It is over 10,000 years on these shores and over 50,000 years over the world. I give honors to the American flag, which sustained us during our infancy. I give honors to the Charter with its 10 wonders of the world. I give honors to the National Grand Sheik, King Marbella, and his official staff. I give honors to the Sisters Auxiliary Board. I give honors to the Mufti Force. I give honors to Brother Palil for demonstrating the mighty measure. Open the door, keeping the doors open so the lost Asiatics can come in and proclaim their nationality. I give honors to the sisters, for Islam teach the woman is God. We know that a woman can never came from a man real, because everything in life comes from a feminine source. I give honors to everything that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought, and all the subordinate temples under the leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I give honors to you, for if you are a Drew, for Islam is the law through the logos of the Circle 7. The law must live. Islam. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his father, God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father, God Allah. Know thyself in Allah, period. That's all you need to know. You need to know yourself, your higher self and your lower self. You got to know your creation and how Allah created you. He created you. He gave you a high. He gave you a low. But He gave you the means to be able to subdue the low, to overcome it. The genealogy of Jesus. They say, do Muslims honor Jesus? Yeah. He's the main person in our book. We follow Jesus. We don't worship Jesus. Jesus said, don't worship no man which walk this earth. Worship my Father who sent me. If Jesus and the disciples prayed, then who did they pray to? They prayed to Allah. They didn't pray to Jesus. They prayed with Jesus. The genealogy of Jesus, life and works of Jesus in India, Europe, and Africa, in the land of Egypt. Noble Drew Ali, the prophet and founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, to redeem the people from their sinful ways. 2. The divine instructions, Sultan Abdullah Aziz Abu Su'ad, the descendant of Hagar, now the head of the holy city of Mecca. I'd like to take you more as a page 59 from the Holy Prophet, chapter 48. You know, 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 is that master number. At what age Jesus began to teach? At the age of 12. Our prophet Noble Drew Ali was sent to this earth to teach us how to be true national citizens. The end of time, the fulfilling of the prophecies. The last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem man from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. The great wrath. When man calls himself Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian, that's a wrath that you will catch from the Creator Allah. It's a sin to walk God's earth not knowing your nationality and divine creed. Before our ancestors was beaten to slavery and Christianity, we had a nationality. We come from a mighty nation, which was the Moors. I know a lot of people might not agree with it, but truth don't change on no plane. And the reason the prophet was sent was to teach us of this history that was once great lost. The Moors who ruled the 7 seas. The Moors who created civilizations. The Moors who every court system is based off of. The prophet Noble Drali was known as the Egyptian Adab. He was the master sage who took the Roman seal off of you. He was the one who came and made you fold up that burial gown. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days, to warn and stir up the nation and prepare them to receive the divine creed which to be taught by Jesus. Islamism is our religion. The law, the practice of peace through all the prophets. When we had that nationality card, it says we honor all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. Each prophet came with Islam. See, a lot of people want to say they want it their way. Not in the Moorish Science Temple of America, you ain't. It ain't about you. It's about the prophet. You didn't even know who you were until the prophet came. Me. Prophet said your way you want, your way you can have, but your way won't do. This is the same thing the prophet Noble Drali went through and Marcus Garvey went through. People trying to get their opinions. Opinions can't destroy justice. This is the law that's going to make us citizens. You can go downtown and they know who Prophet Noble Drali is. You can go anywhere in the government and they recognize the Prophet Noble Drali. These is ancient customs. This is ancient literature. The prophet brought us a divine flag. The only black flag is the road spray. Show me where your flag is. You think that a job is going to save you? You think that working for somebody else bring you respect? Look at our people don't even smile no more. Nationality is the order of the day. Prophet Noble Drali is the angel. You got to master his law. You got to understand his laws. It got to be a part and a partial of every part. This is what constitutes the soul of things. It's the law. Jesus said, do not think that I come to destroy the law of the prophecies. I did not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill. What law are you fulfilling? In the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Prophet Noble Drali is front and center. The lawman. He said, go to those who know law in the city hall and among the officials of your government. They will be glad to give you a favorable reply. Because that favorable reply, you will ask them, am I really a Moorish-American? Yeah, we Moorish-Americans. But I ain't looking for no nod from no Europeans. I know I'm a Moor by blood. I know I live this. I love this. This is not secondary. This is first. It takes the multitude. When Jesus was in the temple disputing with the doctors of the law, what you think he was teaching? Was more science. We don't celebrate pagan holidays. Halloween. How you a person of love and you celebrating evil? You didn't see Jesus running through Bethlehem with no mask on. You didn't see John walking around talking about he a vampire with blood from his lip. These was masters who sat with masters. They came to uplift you and I. Marcus Garvey uplifted so many millions of people, but everybody wanted to be the leader. Prophet Noble Drali had thousands and millions of people in the temple. See, there's a difference. When we say our Prophet Noble Drali was ordained by Allah, meaning that Allah guided him, he didn't need nobody else's story. He didn't need to read a book. Yeah, we honor ancient Egyptians. We honor Egyptology. But you got to understand who you are. You got to understand your nationality. We Moorish-Americans. We descendants of Moroccans and born in America, the ancient Moabites. You ain't gonna, I don't care if you squeeze your fist till the blood come out. screaming black power, you ain't going to be recognized. Because the prophet said the Negro problem is only being solved through the MST of A. It ain't your way. It's the prophet's way. When you joined the Moorish-AMERICAN Temple of America, who did you want to follow? Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But you can't come in. When you come in the prophet's house, you got to empty your cup. We know that man can't be Negro, black, or colored. Because black's the adjective. It's not even a noun. They taught you that in elementary. How did you even get into high school? Still being confused with adjectives and what nouns mean. You can't let another man rename you and think you're going to be free. When Abraham Lincoln proposed the Emancipation Proclamation, he said, yeah, but the slave must proclaim their nationality. Well, I got money. That's what matters. Man, that ain't gonna be, even Jesus said the rich man ain't gonna get in heaven. But heaven is a state of mind. Heaven and hell is a state of mind. If you go around treating people well, you will get heaven. If you live a righteous life, you will get heaven on earth. If you go around robbing and stealing, karma is something. Then you're gonna get hell. But see, the baptism, when you baptized in Jordan. When they was talking about Jesus and John being baptized, what do you think that meant? They was baptized in knowledge and wisdom, understanding of who they were. They was baptized in, when they came out that water, they knew their mission to the sons of men. They knew their mission was to uplift fallen humanity. They knew that their mission was to free the captive souls. They knew their mission was to teach people their nationality, their divine creed. Nowhere in the Bible was Jesus friends with Europeans? Show me. From birth to his transition. His mother and family had to flee from Egypt. What was they taught? They was taught in Egypt. Mathino's lessons. Mathino, what's the base word of Mathino name is math. So they had the science. And that's what the lost estate is. The mental lost estate that we must regain to get back to. If you ain't, see, we got to get out here and uplift the people the same way we was uplifted. This ain't no come here Friday, come here Sunday, and then go home. Nah, the same way your light was turned on, you got to turn somebody else's light on. The prophet said, I brought you more something to shout about. Don't use the prophet, because the wrath will come upon you. This is not a game. This ain't nothing to play with. Go to other cities, and you will really see more signs being demonstrated. The reason they call this nap town, because people are sleeping. That ain't nothing. That ain't cool. I don't want to be asleep to this wisdom, to what's occurring. We getting up every day, slaving for a system that's milking us. That's only give you enough finance so you can pay your bills and still stay in poverty. The prophet Noble Drew Ali said the goal was to put our place in the fellow's place. We supposed to have economy, economics. You think I want to work for somebody my whole life? What happened to being your own boss? When I was young and I asked my auntie for some money, you know what she gave me was a lawnmower. That's how you gonna get it. You got to go out here and be industrious. How can you say industrious acts to the Muslims, but you ain't being industrious? You're being a couch potato. But you got to be industrious in the government. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, take your place in the affairs of men and nations. We got to come together and demonstrate pure Moorish science. Nationality is the order of the day, nothing else. In these modern days, there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah. And his name is Marcus Garvey. Ain't nobody else came. Everybody else wanted to use the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Garvey. Put they self up front. That's a thief. You got to give honors where honors is due. You ain't the leader. Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Garvey is the leader. That's who came came and taught us. Who else taught you? How did you know you was Moorish-American? You can't be black. Because I think that's going to lead back to is the plantation. You can't be colored. God didn't get no crayon and color Adam and Eve. We demonstrating free national standards. National flag. This flag, the oldest flag in the world. Matter of fact, this flag gave birth to this flag. If you know the history. If you know what this red means, you know what that green means. That's life. 5 points. A-L-L-A-H. A live man is one. Arm, leg, leg, arm, head. In these modern days, there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet. Marcus Garvey said, there's one who's coming, whose shoes I'm not worthy to tie. There's one who's coming, whose shoes I'm not worthy to tie. I mean, this man is divine. Look at the prophet Noble Ali. People cried, slaves cried, send us Jesus. Send us Jesus. What you thought he was going to come back in the cartoon? What you thought he was going to come back on, like you see in people's house, a European on the wall? You know what's wrong with our people? They don't love you. They don't love themselves. They love people outside of themselves. They will love a European before they even love their own people in their house. Put you out, and European on the wall, and he ain't paid not one bill. Ain't that something? The Prophet Noble Ali said, learn to love instead of hate. I love myself. That's why every day I wake up, I know I'm Moorish-American. I ain't gonna wake up and guess. Well, I'm Moor today. I'm a Moor by blood. We all Moors by blood. Despite what you go through, you don't see Mexicans wake up and I ain't a Mexican because I ain't get a burrito, or I ain't European because I ain't go to church. See, that's when you know the fix has to be solved. That's when you know that you got some working on yourself to do. Because before I even went to the temple, I proclaimed my nationality. I read the Divine Constitution bylaws and knew that instantly this was what I was looking for. I grew up in the church, but I knew that you can't give me religion without nationality. Because nationality is what made religion. The Moabites was the founders of the holy city of Mecca. Jesus said in the Bible, my religion is who? Abraham. Did Abraham and Ishmael reconstruct the Kaaba, which is in Mecca while we face the east? Who else was? What else religion was first? Was Islamism. Matter of fact, Islam existed before water. When the baby is born, what do it say? Allah. Allah. When you talk to the baby, you say Allah, Allah, Allah. You don't even know it. You see, some answers is already inside of you. But you got to delve down deep beneath the rocky soil so you can get that gold and silver and diamonds that make you shine. See, this is beautiful. I love Moorish science. I don't know about you, but I love Moorish science. And I know me and this brother, we grew up together. And he know where we came. We know where we came from. And if we had Moorish science in high school, in middle school, junior high, man, come on, man. We wouldn't have to be worried about, oh man, are they more? We would have our own community. We will be able to have our own schools. We will be teaching more science to the youth, to the children in the schools. That's what we need to do, go in them schools as well.
We need to build our own schools. We got to keep going in their schools. So we're trying to have this meeting.
We will build our own as well.
And none of them do what they want to do, bro.
Hold on, man. Don't interrupt. Do not interrupt. We will demonstrate more science. We will demonstrate more science every day. We will demonstrate more science in the government as well. And that's what we're working on. Anytime you got children coming home, talk about some apples talk. Listen, look at what they teach our youth in school. Apples talking. They don't teach nothing about nationality. But if you ain't trying to live by these laws, then you are outlaw. Prophet Noble Ali is the lawman. People in everywhere know about Prophet Noble Ali. But do they know you? Are you out there propagating the faith? The prophet said, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws. And all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live a life accordingly. This organization, Act 5 of the Moorish Temple of America, is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. You got to obey these laws. The law must live, but it got to live within us. The Moorish Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. Every temple has a charter to be able to teach the teachers to propagate the faith of Ali here in America. Thousands is called, but few are chosen. See, more science, like my teacher told me, more science ain't for everybody. But you ain't gonna run this. You ain't gonna come in here and change this, especially if you're raising this flag. He established these laws to his movement to be operated a certain way. The things I see that other people do, you ain't gonna do that in Mecca. You ain't gonna do that in certain temples. You ain't gonna do that in here. Especially when we have Moors coming and demonstrating with us. Ain't nobody gonna change the Prophet's rules and laws. And we ain't gonna, as being the defender of the gospel, I definitely ain't gonna let you. He ain't gonna let you. And I believe you as I came. Love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Islam is law through the logos of the Circle 7. Islam must live. Islam.
Islam.